Hey there, I'm Liam from PPW, and this is the one called Manders, and we are going to watch a match, maybe more matches. We'll see how this all comes together. There might be a change of attire at some point, we don't know.
Whoa!
But we're going to watch some matches, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to have a fun time doing it. So, without further ado, let's kick in to our first match. This is RevPro in Sheffield. It is myself and Leon Slater against yourself and Michael Oku.
Yeah. I was the asshole at this time.
This is my second time at RevPro.
Not gonna lie, I was happy when we had this match.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Even
absolutely.
though I was gonna batter you.
Yeah, hell yeah, you did.
I knew, but you also guys beat my ass too.
True, yeah, very true.
Yeah, I like Sheffield wrestling for RevPro at Sheffield.
Yeah, do you know what? I think they really found the way on it now.
They really did.
Like, it started out without the best footing, but like, I think they've really found a comfort in what they're doing. I actually think that...
God, look at you two, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. And I've got this, like, real bond with Leon, obviously. And like, we'd not talked about this. We'd not like been like, oh, and this is the pose that we will hit. We just kind of do and exist. I've known Leon now for a good number of years.
Best friends.
I mean, it'd be nice if he messaged me sometimes. You know? There's a bunch of people that are in this crowd that are PPW people that come and train here and stuff like that. So we're baby faces, but then like we're kind of the heels in the story as well.
Yeah.
And, like, how did you find the planning of this match?
You know, it's kind of like you were saying. Like it was easy because we all know how to work.
Yes.
We all know how to. Yeah. We all know what the concept is.
Yes.
But when you think about it like that, when you pull the curtain back, you got one guy being a babyface that's going to switch and turn and be heel at the end.
Yep.
But you also have two hometown boys that are from Sheffield, people that know you guys are from Sheffield.
Hell yeah.
PPW, all the things. But you're totally working heat on me for a majority of this time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we first met at 16 Karat Gold, not the year before.
2 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
Or 2-time tournaments ago.
Yes, yeah. And then you'd been at North as well, and then really where I think we spent the most time together was at this one that's just being by. We spent a lot of time there together, you and Sharon. These two were here as well. Some good times with that.
Ah, look at him.
Yeah, like...
Superstar.
So what's interesting is I use a quote from this exact moment here. Me and Leon are sat on the corner, and Leon just turns to me and he goes, Michael Oku's really good at standing still. How have you found your time with RevPro? Because that's the main place that you work in the UK,
yes.
right?
I simply enjoy it a lot, and I take a lot of pride in wanting to be there because I know it's one of the best working places to be.
Hell yeah!
And not even just in England, the whole goddamn world.
Yeah, obviously there's luck that goes into everything, but you've put the work in to be there and to and to be in those positions. So never discredit yourself.
Piss off.
At this point, I'm really trying to find what this RevPro version of Liam Slater is like.
Yeah.
You're already like, is this
second match? Yeah.
I don't even think we called this part.
No,
we were just kind of
just riffing.
Yeah, we were just riffing.
Yeah, I know. Like again, this is no knock on the referee, but like I know like the referee's like not really gonna like really step in and go there. So I make a decision there to be like, all right, Leon, let's pull back because I'm like, this will just descend into us just fighting if we do.
He actually hasn't defeated Michael Oku. I did twice.
Like even that, there it is.
Yeah.
Just a waist lock takedown.
And they make such a moment out of it, and it's the holding, there's the levels, and again, this is not something that's like planned.
No.
This is just us putting stuff into play.
Just gelling.
And another little shout out, this is a regular Michael Oku spot here. Bam, duck, here's a twist, here's a Rana. Misses the drop kick though.
Connor roll, or Oklahoma. What do they call them? They don't call it Oklahoma roll here. Do they?
Yeah.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, and often that gets confused there. Lovely bit of kit there. Gets confused of like O'Connor and the Oklahoma roll, and like people saying different bits. And just as we're here we go.
Yep.
Here you go. You're an
reel him back. Yeah, I think at this one I was like, I'll just get in.
Yeah.
Probably should.
I was like, okay, this one, this needs to cool, and again, I've got to jump in there. And I don't think that was like a planned, like, I think it was like we were getting to separation moments.
Yes.
Dave just mentions it there, former American football player.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what?
Oh man,
what's the story?
Football was life. I played football or American football when I was 3 years old. You know, and playing flag football, because when you're younger, you can't do like contact.
No, yeah.
Just because, you know, that was a grind too, just like wrestling, just like anything really.
Yep.
So then, whatever you want to say, I was good enough or whatever. I played. That was sick. Division I football at Iowa. So, and that's Big Ten, big top dog football, 75 to 80,000 people, and I got to see a lot of.
Do you know
greats.
what? It blows my mind, the college American football level.
Man, it's pros.
Yeah.
And especially now, you know, they make money and stuff. I got grandfathered in to get some money, so in the next 6 months I should get something. Yeah. And we didn't even call this part. I remember you guys like, what do you want to do for a comeback? I was like, I don't know, we'll just chop meat and do whatever, and then I think I just do a gut wrench and I don't.
Yeah, I think so. You were like, I'll just fucking chop you and I'll grab you and I'll throw you. I was like, yeah, cool. Like,
I have a question. Your boots, are they cowboy boots? Are they wrestling boots that you said make me look like cowboy boots, please?
So, cowboy boots made by a wrestler that made them into wrestling boots that has the shape of a cowboy boot. Yeah, so there's a guy, his name's Bobby Lee Jr., he's out of Mexico, and he makes really good boots. And I bought these boots out of a motorcycle club. Nice. And then at the bottom of them, they're like a two-piece. So you have like a heel and a thing. And I went to a cobbler and I said, could you make these flat like these? And I showed him those boots and then they made them and then here we are.
Manders, I've got a question on your your name actually.
Yeah.
It's an unusual wrestling name.
Yes, it is.
And I think when I first heard it, I assumed it was like the one called Manders, but no, it's the number one.
Yeah.
So can you just give me a brief overview of one called Manders?
Yeah, I like Manders. Manders fits wrestling, I feel like.
Solid wrestling.
Yeah, solid wrestling name. When Sting was Surfer Sting, he used to come out to the song, Man Called Sting. Yeah. And I was like, man, that was so cool when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And obviously, I already have the man part in there with Manders. So I was like, what if it's just the one? Because it's me. There's no one like me. Even though, you know, there's no one that's Steve Manders.
Yes.
So I was like, well, what if it's the one called Manders? And then kind of both of those together. Oh, and there's the rope throw. And yeah, and a lot of people shit on it.
So
I don't care.
I was quite similar with my promo pictures where it's
the
back of my
same
head,
thing.
right?
Yep.
And I had a lot of promoters being like, why couldn't we have a photo of you facing forwards?
No.
And it was like, no, and I really had to be like, no, because
I don't want to conform.
Yeah.
Everyone else does it.
Again, if we pull back the curtain a little bit for the wrestlers that are watching, Michael has done like his regular shine spot and his regular comeback spot. I hit my regular up spot. You've hit regular moves of you. And I think sometimes as like newer wrestlers, I feel like they've got to be doing something different every single match. And actually, this has been a great match as we move through, and it's all been our kind of best ofs that we've been hitting soon. And we had Mike hitting his single stuff, and then we've had me and Leon up together. That idea there was something that we've never done.
That's right. We were kind of skeptic about it. Yeah.
And we were like, is this going to work? Are we going to hit this right point into it? Like, we really didn't know. And we wanted to look like a tag team as well, which is why we kind of pieced that bit in. And like, for me, like, especially with tag team scenario things, I'm staying like locked in my head. I'm trying to like stay as locked in as possible. Little throwback moment here. We were setting up for the deal. I've already hit you with the deal, and then it's like we try the double team one, but then it turns into you getting your up spot. Great selling throughout this as well. Call back again.
Call
like
back again
Easter
for the first
eggs.
one.
Yep. Another thing that we were like, is this going to work? We were talking about it in the back, and it's like moonsault to break up the pin, and we were like,
this might suck.
Yeah, this might be awful. And actually, it turns out to be a great like car crash moment.
Slater's head off. And Slater was ready for it. No, he caught him second time.
Bam, lovely
Got
stuff
a lefty.
There. Yeah, which again is like a real nice like
exactly.
part of your storytelling of like the right's the deal, but like the left one will still do damage.
The ropes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
here's a mess
yeah,
up here.
yeah.
I was pissed about this part.
it was just
I
a
was
little.
upset after.
Yeah. So
a
it was
mess
meant
up.
to be.
Float over into the
Yeah, it was
crab.
meant to be the same one that Leon used, but I think we ended up getting a little bit twisted as we come down. We ended up coming into.
I had unbalanced
That
part.
didn't
Yeah.
look bad at all. That was. Yeah, I thought that looked like you planned it.
Well, yeah, and actually, like, it ends up like being like, and another thing that I'm doing here differently is like, this is not my usual like side of the crab that I take.
Yeah.
But I needed that arm free to then get the slaps in and stuff.
Oku just taking Leon Slater's legs out from under him. Like Oku is done. Oh!
Great, yeah, class timing on that. It's a pleasure being around you guys where you're all really good at pro wrestling. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
We make it work.
Yeah, it's there.
Wow.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. Hey.
Bam, go to spot. Little bit of this. Here's the spin, here's the knee. And then here's what took my absolute wow.
Look at that flip you did. Jesus Christ.
There's no like, oh yeah, cool, I'll take this flip. I was just going. I was like, cool, I'm in the air. Jaws round back of my head, we're off and away.
Never mind under rotating. You almost over rotated.
I ended up
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that match.
Me too.
Yeah, I think
I
it was
really
really
do.
fun. A long match, not really the type of matches that I do too often, so it was nice for me to be in there. Pleasure to be in there with you as well.
Hey, same.
And then it went on to more and more and more. Into our next match. And if it looks like we've moved around a lot, we haven't. Well, it's a trick of the eyes. We are now watching the semi-final from 16 Karat Gold 2025. And this will be yourself against Masha Slamovic.
Yeah.
Hell
What a damn war, dude. Every
Yeah.
time I wrestle Masha, I've wrestled Masha plenty of times, and it's always easy, but it's also always scary. Because Masha's scary. And today's her birthday, so Masha, if you watch this, probably won't, but happy birthday.
It feels like professional wrestling. Every weekend that I've been there, I've been like, this is professional wrestling.
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes in pro wrestling, we don't get
No,
the
yeah,
professional
absolutely.
wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just get wrestling.
Yeah.
Outlaw Mud Show.
That ramp is one of the steepest ramps I've ever walked down. You want to be a cool guy walking out, you're like, I'm a cool motherfucker, and then you've got to like tiptoe down this ramp to get there. So this is night 3.
Yeah.
You are, bam, we're just
And
going,
already.
wow, we're in. Let's fucking go.
And my chaps.
Chaps are still on.
Yeah.
Waistcoat's still on. Yeah.
She is like, you know, they call her the Russian Dynamite, right? She literally is a little ball of explosive dynamite. When we talk about energy and attitude, she personifies it, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? So, and that's what you want. And you can't, I mean, you can teach it, but a lot of it has to be in you, right?
Absolutely.
And she definitely delivered.
Maybe trying to go for the chair breaking record. I don't think that
don't think we
wasn't
broke
good,
it, but we tried.
Because Psycho Clown
Yes,
holds that
he
record.
did.
10 broken chairs. Damn, we got some colour going
Yeah,
already as
already.
well.
Jesus.
Again, I was there for the entire weekend. One hell of a weekend of professional wrestling. And we've seen a lot of wrestling at this point. There's
Yes.
like 7 shows if you include
Yes.
like the Inner Circle one.
Yes.
Nothing started with this pace.
No.
Was this an intentional, we're going to kick it into high gear straight away?
Absolutely. From us in the match, and also, you know, the people that are the matchmakers for it, I think.
And again, like, the smart thing with the bookers and stuff like that is them considering, like, this is night 3, like, there's a load that's going on to it. Like, how do we pull this audience up as quick as possible? So it was a fantastic opener. It's a really, really good call for an opener.
Yeah.
Again, I think you've done a great job here of, like, obviously, yes, Masha is smaller, and I think there's a contingent of people that would go, well, you can't get knocked down by Masha. But, like, you've come in with such intensity that it's never looked not legitimate.
Yes. And that could be a problem sometimes in entertainment wrestling.
Yes, yeah. And in heavyweight, cruiserweight style wrestling.
Also true as well.
Like, if you don't have that legitimacy, and I don't think that's missed at all, there's so much legitimacy that goes into this match. Like, that's great. That's a lovely bit of
And that's
kit
a nice part. We've wrestled so much, so it's real easy to be like, hey,
yes.
we'll just do what we did here, and here.
Yeah.
And then we twist it in to make it a little different.
Yeah, it's like me and Leon have done that a couple of times where we've just got in and been like, cool, we'll move because we know each other's stuff, and it just
Yeah.
makes life that little bit easier. Which, again, we kind of alluded to in the tag match where none of us had been in the ring together.
Yeah. So, kicking the shit out of you right
Oh
now.
yeah, absolutely. How are you feeling at this point in terms of your body? Because you had done night 1, night 2. Then there's also the Shotgun Bonanza show that you had. Now, admittedly, you just murdered some people on that one. But you still had to wrestle.
I hit a poor Danish kid's tooth.
Yeah, yeah. How is your body feeling at this point?
Oh, terrible. But it always feels terrible
Mm-hmm.
because I could have a match where I don't bump at all, and I'll feel way worse than if I bumped a bunch.
Uh-huh.
It's like almost like a free chiropractic session.
Yeah.
So yeah, here it's definitely I'm definitely feeling it, right? Because you had the shotgun show, and then you had night 2, and then you had night 1, which was Daisuke Sekimoto, who's a freight train.
Yes.
And then on top of it, you had the Thursday, and then you had the flying and all that kind of stuff. So, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. No.
How was this match in terms of putting this together as well? I know you mentioned like you guys are like obviously had experience, so you go there's this to this to this. Was it very much was it a relaxed environment? Like
We definitely had that moment, and literally Masha looks at me, she goes, "I'm gonna go for a walk," and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna put another velo in, and we'll come back to it," and then it went. Yeah.
sometimes you need that.
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah, you need that little bit of separation.
Pull.
Hell yeah. Again, like we go back to like this like conversation that people might have sometimes of like, you know, intergender wrestling, but like here, Masha again has looked extremely credible. Like you truly believe that like these knees and stuff like that are getting closer and closer to the win.
Exactly. Having that with, and having you know with women too, everyone thinks it's in my opinion, I could be wrong. I feel like intergender wrestling's a lot easier because it's you already have the size factor.
Yes.
And then it's kind of the simple, you know,
Yeah,
I'm the guy, I'm going to be the heel, and then, you know, the woman's the babyface because a man beating up a girl is kind of...
Yeah, and again, we can play about with those conventions, but it's knowing that there's conventions in place to then build upon. And you mentioned about like being a heel there, but I would say like through this, like I think this has been a great example of two wrestlers being wrestlers.
Exactly. I don't have to be, you know, a piece of shit immoral human. I can just simply I'm just going to beat her up because I don't care what she is.
Doing that is the key to her chances of staying in here. The kick to the side of the head from Slamovic.
Oh,
Bam, there we go.
look at that
Nailed
cell
it.
she did.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And a good little cell coming out of that then pays in to go further in the story. And again, if you would like to see that, WxW Now 2.0 on YouTube is where you can watch Manders run right to the final of WxW. Now, we've watched two cracking matches, and I think we're going to try and find something that might be a little bit earlier in your career. So let's have a look at that.
Let's have a look at that.
All right, our final match takes us back to 2020, and this is SCW, and this is you against Nathan Fraser, who is currently in the WWE. Ben Carter at this point, right? Is that the name?
Ben Carter.
So, can you tell me a little bit about this match?
So me and Ben, we always, when he came over here or to the States to play soccer or football, and he wanted to be a wrestler, and that was kind of his way in to do it without getting a visa. He's a very calculated guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he always wanted to make the rounds, and it was easy for me to make the rounds with him. So, you know, I took him everywhere. And pinpointing it back to this, we, you know, always wanted to have a match together, and we got to have one here, kind of where we started. I'm the SCW Pro champ at this time. So this was like my first, like, this is black and yellow. Because I went to college, sadly I went to college, yes. And I went to Iowa, and their colors are black and yellow.
Okay.
So.
It's funny how you see people kind of change and evolve, and they start with no gear, and then it expands, and there's more, and there's more, and there's more. Or similar to this, and I'm very much the same. Is like, here's colours, here's this, here's a logo, here's this, and it's like, and then strip and strip and strip. That's the one.
Exactly, and that is the one.
Is this, so this is 2020, but is this pre or post?
I think this is like maybe a month or two before the world ends.
Yes, yeah.
So this is like January, February. Here I did
Cartwheel, there
cartwheel.
you
What
go.
the hell?
Cartwheel in a big time.
Cartwheel. What the hell?
And again, I think this is the fun of like watching stuff back with people. Here we go, like military press, like it's the first time that we see him.
Yeah, don't do that anymore either.
We mentioned 2020, probably about a month before the end of the world as we knew it. Where was your head at this point in time? What were you picturing that you were going to do with the year of 2020 had it moved as it was going to move?
Man, so around this time is I think when I had my first match with Masha at Beyond. And it's funny, Felix talks about this where, so Felix, one of the promoters for WxW, he watched that match and he really liked it.
Yep.
And I think he got Masha over, but whatever the reason was, for me, it wasn't yet. But I feel if the world didn't end it, I maybe would have been in Germany earlier than I would have been in 2023 or whatever. So maybe that could have been, something.
So kind of similar. I'd had a breakout of wrestling. I'd just come back. I'd done something in 2019, 2020. I was like, right, cool. I'm just gonna.
There's something here.
I'm gonna start doing some bits and pieces, and then. But I'm actually really grateful and glad that happened because with that time, like, we started PPW and all that, and I completely changed how I wrestled. So to kick back into this match, there's been a lot of arm stuff that's been kicking through. There's been a lot of heavy hitting action that's going through. How much of this is planned? How much of this are you doing in the ring? Like,
oh man, I think at this time it's more everything's very detailed. The other beauty about me and Ben was were always on the road together all the time. So this match was planned way before. The day of the show, so it's a little easier since we already had the idea. Crazy post dive. So like you were saying, like in 2019, I was kind of like the independent rookie of the year in America. So you have all these things where like Manders is about to break out and the world ends, so we kind of don't. And for Ben, actually, it's funny how things happen. For Ben, his biggest breakout was during the COVID times.
Yes, absolutely.
So like, it's just how it all fell and went, and it kind of made me rethink, certain things on how do I need to improve on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade for the world now. So me and Ben always had a funny interactions in the Black and Brave dojos, I guess we would call it. So Rollins, would have these wrestle houses, and they're really just like old Midwestern river houses. I would stay up all night and, watch All Japan Wrestling, and then in the mornings you would see me passed out on the chair with All Japan still playing and Ben coming down, waking me up. So we watched a lot of All Japan a lot together, and Jun Akiyama used to always do the wrist clutch exploder, and I always thought Akiyama was cool, and Ben wanted me to do it, so we did it.
I suppose like the whole like industry changes around quite a bit. Like
also
there's
as
there's definitely a different style that happens. Damn, well maintained there.
Yeah,
because that can be so easy to slip.
Yes.
Bam! Let's go. That's a hell of a bump. Again, this is why like people love like independent wrestling.
Because you get to see that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you get to see people's growth, and you get to see people develop, and you get to see people just trying stuff and like putting their all into everything of like, yeah, I'm going to do this to this to this to this to this. Which then, as you develop as pro wrestlers, that simmers down a little bit, which is totally fine, because that's how we build good professional wrestlers.
Exactly. Now even that kick being low too, right?
Wow, hell of a catch. Boom, nailed it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Wow, and hooked him in. Deep indie pin. That's what I refer to that as the indie pin there. When you sat on them and you get the legs hooked in.
So a lot of that time, one last little story. Alex Shelley was always around, and he took a liking to me and Ben a lot. And a lot of those pins were him just telling us, "Hey, try these pins like this."
Yeah.
And I love Alex Shelley.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's the man.
I would absolutely love him here. Like maybe one day.
One day he's WWE now too.
Yeah,
Shoot.
So lovely stuff. So we've watched 3 great matches there. Any thoughts on those matches now that we've kind of gone through them?
It's funny. At this time, I used to think, God, this match is so good, me and Ben. And you watch it back now, and you're like, it was good.
Yeah.
but it could always be better versus the one, maybe the other two that we just watched. I'd rather have those kind of matches versus this one. It's just kind of, it's funny. A lot of times in wrestling, I said it the other night, we're always on the edge of a lightning bolt, and we're always worrying about the next thing. And then you forget it's been 9 years, and you go, wow, we did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We're doing a lot of stuff, you know. We literally did 3 videos from 3 different countries.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for
Hey,
sitting
man.
down and
Thanks for
talking through
having
this.
us.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. If you've liked this, leave it a like, drop us a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I've been Liam Slater. This is Called Manders, and we'll see you next time, and we'll keep living the cowboy.
And you better like and comment it, or I'm going to larry you.
Hell yeah, you do. You'll feel it, I promise you.